Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Telltales, our supplemental D&D talk show where I, Francis the Dungeon Master, sit down with one of my players, talk about the latest session, hang out, and talk about life and D&D. On this week's episode, I was able to sit down with Matt, who played Gnak, and now William, to talk about the game and how the party has progressed so far. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into the episode. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fine. If my dog will try to stop barking at whatever moves in our front yard, I'd be happy.
I
Oh, that never.
definitely feel that. I could really use a dog.
No. If you get a
Not
dog,
those.
don't get like a Great Dane. They're huge, and they think they're small, and they're not. It's like, dog, you're like my height if you stand on your hind legs. Calm down. You're not like a puppy.
Oof. I want a puppy. Puppy.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm fine with puppies. Get a freaking corgi, dude. Corgis are amazing. They're small, the little like logs of fur.
Yes, please. I think they would suffer though in this Texas heat, but
I mean, have you seen a Siberian Husky?
not in
They ain't.
Texas.
I have. My neighbors have had Siberian Huskies, and I'm like, why? The dog literally is dying by standing. Help it. It's horrible.
Yes.
Very horrible.
Well, anyways, let's jump into the session because it was a little bit of a weird spot. We didn't have Guy,
Mm-hmm.
so uh knowing that beforehand, well, it kind of worked pretty nicely because I had a few of these, I guess, side quests um ready to go, and you went with the more combat based. So that was pretty good.
I'm. I mean, I was looking at these side quests. I actually thought about it. It was like, okay, when we go test out equipment for like 60 gold, which was
Mhm.
there's no issue with it. We're just testing out equipment, and hey, we might even get the equipment. Or we
Yes.
go do the combat based one where we get 40 gold plus like whatever other spoils we can have.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of thinking our situation. I was like, because I was for doing the equipment one. I had no issue doing with it because if the equipment caused any damage, I would just be the one to go do it. I would rage and just be like, okay, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Uh, and I just take half damage to whatever it was, and it wasn't psychic. But the combat based one, I was like, I mean, we're hunting down this, murderer. Okay, it doesn't
Mhm.
seem too hard. And then undead. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if it was fully clear that Kaiji was a necromancer uh, from when he told his tale, but I think it worked out in the end.
yeah, I feel like the undead was kind of fun. It was a change of pace because you don't really see undead that early into a campaign, just because undead have undead fortitude.
Mhm.
They can swarm pretty easily, and their damage isn't abysmal. It actually is a lot.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, when we started off that entire encounter, I even remarked to saying, because we were trying to plan, I'm like, this is just like chess, because it really was. Trying to figure out where to put all the people. They'd be like, okay, do this, this. Me and Marcus will go after this guy. The mages will double
Oh,
tap.
you mean Etan?
Yeah, yeah.
Etan, yeah.
Yeah.
Etan or
Uh,
Etan? I don't even know how he
um,
says it. But yeah.
we'll just go with E10 because he's tan. Anyways, it was just like it was really weird because we had you rolling for two of the NPCs. You had Michael rolling for Rex. Not for Rex. There we go. Rex. How did I think of that? It's
Mhm.
weird. Anyways,
Rex. Yeah.
Rex, and it's kind of like uh, this whole entire thing just going out of order, and we're like, holy crap, we got into the thick of it. And I mean, me and Michael were took care of our guy, and all the other ones were still up, but the dog and the other melee one were really injured, which was really beneficial. Um,
This
that person kind of could have gone worse.
the whole encounter that was set up was really a tactical combat. Like, I like the idea that there's combat, but then like there's subcategories of combat. This one was obviously the more tactical side, and you know, it
Hmm.
it was definitely pretty cool that you guys were able to coordinate this time. I know the last time didn't go pretty well because it was pretty much up to Michael, and you were just taking the reins, making sure nobody at least dies in the first 2 rounds, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy taking like the reins in control just because I don't know if I'm making the right calls or not. Um, but I mean, this time we all communicated better in the sense of getting everything organized and getting everything straightened out. Because I mean, if we didn't, that first encounter could have easily knocked one of us unconscious.
Hmm.
Easily, could have knocked one of us unconscious if we didn't try to figure out what to do. And it got really close to knocking us down a peg, but at least we were able to actually kind of deal with the enemies. We killed one at the very beginning of it, and we severely injured two of them. So the next 2 rounds was just cleaning up those and then focusing on the others.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it worked out pretty well. I mean, yeah, we suffered a
Hmm.
bit of damage, and we had to do a short rest to recover HP. But that second half of that encounter, oh my god.
That second half was pretty close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it didn't help the fact that, again, one, we had two characters who couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if they were in it,
Yeah.
and two, we had a bunch of enemies who could not only hit the broadside of a barn, but they destroyed the barn in the process. Because, oh my god, the natural 20s that occurred, and the 19s you kept getting to hit
Yeah.
E10. I think you had four 19s in a row.
I kept rolling a 17 on the metal die. It's the Thor dice.
Just from now on, just anytime you have to hit E10, just roll the metal dice. It will always be the 19. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, I rolled a 14. Well, he has a +5 to hit. 19. You've got to be kidding me. It's gonna be funny.
I was really glad to see E10 on the front line
Hmm.
because I felt that last encounter where you had the opportunity to coordinate and stuff, especially, with Ganok, E10 like try to not stay in the far back because he's melee, but like in the he was in he was the midfielder basically,
Hmm.
and that helped absolutely nobody because he's too busy, you know, just not hitting anything.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the,
in the front line, he was able to essentially get into melee while protecting Libby versus
mhm.
before where he kind of left her open and then she got attacked by those scorpions from a while back.
Well, I'll say this: the last time, our last combat encounter, we were so scattered. We really had no way of kind of coordinating anything or making sure our spellcasters are protected, our range bases are protected.
That's true.
We were so scattered. It didn't help us. And I mean, at the same time, this time, we actually had spells that did damage. Compared to the first time where we had, Libby had just had utility spells. Now she had magic missile, which that saved our ass so much because love that spell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very surprised that she didn't take it at first. I thought it was a no-brainer. Not to throw shade at Maddie, but oh
It's like
boy.
it happens every time you like anytime you first time play a character or a new class, you always make a rookie mistake.
That's true.
You played as a warlock, didn't you? And at one point you didn't even have Eldritch Blast.
I had Eldritch Blast.
You did? Well, you never used it.
Because I kept going down.
Yeah, true. But the point is,
Yeah,
anytime you play a new class, you don't know what you need to do.
that's true.
So
I
I'm not upset with that. It happens.
I completely forgot cuz side mission and everything. I wanted it to be more of a like let's learn what to do with our classes, and so I was a little bit telling Maddie especially cuz she's brand new to Wizard, and
Mm-hmm.
she's not like super into in-game mechanics.
Yeah.
um I forgot to mention that she did not have mage armor going into the next battle area.
Yeah, that's Mage Armor is a good spell. You gotta remember to cast it.
Yeah, she has it prepared.
She has it prepared, but she didn't
She didn't.
cast it.
Yeah, she never casted it. So
It lasts for 8 hours, which is the
yeah,
benefit of that spell. But it takes like an hour to cast it, or an action to cast it, or something. It takes time.
it takes an action, I believe,
Okay. Well,
but
and it
like
lasts for 8 hours.
when when the rest of you and Sergey and Zalim got off of the cart and were about to head into the lion's den, and
Yeah.
I asked you guys, hey, do you want to cast any preparation spells?
Mm-hmm.
Rex used his right to give him radiant damage because he knows he's dealing with undead.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
Maddie
mean,
wasn't thinking about that, but it's okay because
yeah, it's fine. It's either you take Mage Armor or you take Shield. And in either of the two scenarios, for a wizard, it's better if you take Mage Armor,
mm-hmm.
because if you do a short rest, you can recover that spell slot you used to cast it
And the last 8 hours.
and it lasts for 8 hours. So, you can easily just, if you plan it right, it's a couple of rests and it's fine. The
Yeah,
whole benefit of it, though, is you have that extra protection, because if you didn't have it, you're screwed. And I think she needs to kind of get used to the fact that she's not a frontline bard. She can't heal herself like she could. She couldn't. She doesn't have armor.
mm-hmm.
That's the one downside. She doesn't have as much HP as she used to have, because she only has D6s compared to, I believe, a bard's D8, which
Yep.
that's a huge difference in HP value when you get later on.
She has the lowest XP, not XP, HP next to Kate, obviously because of the modifiers.
Yeah.
Which, spellcasters. It's you, I'm just glad that they both have their quirks. Like, I don't know. I was editing this morning and kind of a segue into Kate because I'm pretty sure I overreacted because I kept whenever they cast a higher level spell, I try to get Kate to roll on the wild magic table, and she finally rolled on the wild magic table. It only took
Oh,
like 5 sessions.
oh man, and got the best one on the table. First try, the greatest power of the wild magic table.
Yes. And for those who haven't seen the episode yet, he turned into a potted plant.
Yep.
Which is probably the perfect scenario. I just imagine how, because before in Michael's campaign, we never really touched sorcerer until Michael's campaign. and I was playing a sorcerer, and what he would have me do is essentially roll wild magic on every single spell, and I mean the table, not like
Yeah.
roll a d20 and if I rolled a 1.
Yeah, that was. Oh god, that made you so scared to cast any spells. Like you
Yeah,
never, you only cast cantrips. You're
I
like, I
only
want.
cast cantrips, and I would use, was it I forgot what it's called, but it's the meta magic ability where you can cast action spell as a bonus action.
Oh yeah. Quicken
Yeah,
spell.
quicken spell. I would use that to cast 2 cantrips at a time,
Instead of
and
spells.
I was even scared to cast shield because technically he can do it. He can make
I
me
think he did
roll.
that to you once. I actually think he did. You casted shield, and he's like wild magic,
I'm like, shit, I can't.
or
There's
like
butterflies coming out of me. There's also I
some of the
I fireball
unicorn.
myself.
You did all this, and I mean, God, that's the one thing with wild magic is it's the it's the funniest thing to work with, but it's the scariest thing. Oh God. But hey,
Hmm,
if you're a halfling, you never have to worry about wild magic because you just re-roll the crit fail.
that is true. I don't know. I feel like hmm that is halfling sorcerer. Yeah, that would definitely make.
Halflings gain charisma, don't they?
I'm sorry, what?
They their stat boost is charisma, isn't it? For halfling, if you
I
go as the
I think it's
I
I
think
think it's
it's Dex
Dex and
charisma.
is it charisma or wisdom?
I
Oh,
think it's charisma.
I might be thinking gnome because gnomes are the inventors.
Gnomes are intelligence.
Yes, they
Yeah,
tinker. They are tinker people.
I make the rodent. It's great.
Yeah. What what did you think going into it? Like I know I had like a small little story to it, but I didn't know if there was like much interest in it. Is what I'm trying to say.
I think, in all honesty, it was fun. The whole choice of us either doing one of the two things, and it's like we picked the greater of the two evils because one was, hey, go test out equipment and we'll pay you money for it, versus go kill a dude who's a necromancer
Hmm.
and you'll get gold from it and whatever else he has. I think it was the whole surprising appeal of what else can we get from a necromancer, because we also have a necromancer, and whatever the necromancer has could help our necromancer.
Yep.
I think that's what drawed at least Libby into it was, ooh, necromancer colleague that I get to kill.
Yes, because a world building exercise. I still don't understand Libby. I honestly don't. Um, I because Maddie she wants to play necromancer. I'm like, okay, cool, but this character is so strange and so weird and so out there. I have absolutely no idea how to handle this 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 personality of I don't understand why I don't understand why social society is like this, but I'm going to go raise the dead. He's like an innocent child that tinkers in the dark arts. It's like Pride from FMA. That's what I imagine. Like this child Libby is going to become Pride from FMA.
Oh my lord, you're not wrong. But I think that's the best thing about a necromancer is because you can take a necromancer in one of two ways. You either become the dark edge lord of the underworld,
Yep.
or you're the happy-go-lucky person who sees nothing wrong with raising the dead. You're just like, it's fine, it's fine. Look, they're alive, technically.
Just I'm very interested to see what happens when well, I don't know when, maybe if you guys unlock the whole secret to whatever was happening in the...
I think that's what we're gonna do at the start of the next session. After a long rest, just rush right back in there, and we're figuring out what the heck is going on with this thing.
Because I don't know, maybe I was tired at the time, but there's definitely a few things like the whole... I remember Greg telling me, like, asking me, what is this icon? And I'm like, oh, you see, it appears to be an electric tower with coils around it. Eh?
The Tesla coil.
Yes. This is a modernish campaign, so...
And I like the modern of it. It's a mix of modern and fantasy, and I love the fact that you're playing it off really well. Because I mean, we're just like, oh, there's Tesla coils. Wait, there's Tesla coils? Oh, right. Because it's modern. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's airships, there's guns, there's speaker systems from the last session.
There's a lot.
You know, it's a modernish campaign. It's like I was telling Guy this in when I was doing his Telltales episode, but the way I imagined Al Kharid in this time period, it's like a steampunk version of Dubai. That's like the closest thing I can think of, like a modernish Egypt type of...
I swear, if I don't see someone driving a corner in a Lamborghini that's steampunked, I'm gonna be pissed.
Cars haven't been invented yet, obviously.
Damn it.
But there is who knows? Maybe you'll see more of the steampunk-esque abilities, like the when you fought the sand pirates. That you didn't really explore that because you blew up both of the boats. But if you did, those were both steampunk engined. So
okay. Could we have reverse engineered said steampunk engine to make our cart a steampunk cart? Damn it! Fuck. Good act. No.
Like, boats don't run in the sand. I hope you know that.
Listen here, son. Listen here. As we have learned, Avatar: The Last Airbender proves that they can.
True.
Don't.
You know.
But I gotta say though, the feel of this campaign is a great change of pace compared to the last one. Because in the last one, like our first couple sessions that weren't on recording, the ones that were very slow, methodical. We had no idea what we were doing. We were trying to figure out how our characters work for those who never played them.
It was a very hot potato of whose backstory came first. That's basically what it came to.
Well, in this one, we're not even following anyone's backstory yet.
Like, I know, which is crazy.
I mean, I think it's a bit of it because we're all scared of like which one do we want to follow first, and like who should we give priority to first. But I think, in all honesty, when we get done with this side quest, I think we're gonna follow. I'm probably thinking E10's backstory, just because he kind of wavered before we started the side quest a bit about himself. That we're gonna do Libby's.
Well, you do have the main mission up first.
Oh yeah.
So
we saw the main mission. We might even wait until after the whole competition until we start someone's backstory.
That is definitely possible. I'll have you know that part of the reason I was sad Ganak died is because when Zalim first mentioned the Paragon Games, he said there was a bunch of giants and half orcs in at war right now, and I'm like, yes, this is a good segue. And then he died, like all characters. Like he
Yeah.
just meh, but it's okay because we have William at the helm,
Yeah, we have
which
William at the helm, and
he's the more
he's gonna
human of the
he's
half
the more
orc.
human of the two, which is kind of like how I like if when I think of a half orc, it's either you're more human than orc, or you're more orc than human.
Hmm.
And that depends on where you're kind of raised. And I'm actually kind of glad that I could play both sides of it, because you got to see Ganock, who was more orc than human, and you saw that whenever in the short time he talked to Zaleen, the whole like, so have you raided the village? Nope, you're a loser. It's like, you don't do that. Versus William, who's like this more passive guy who is more in tune with thinking things through, planning things out, being methodical, but not being 100% aware of kind of certain things going on around him.
Hmm.
And that just goes with him, with his character and his backstory and everything.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact I was able to actually play that, and still am playing it.
Hmm.
It does suck though that Knock did die, but I take it as a learning experience for the entire group, because as we've seen most in the recent fight, we actually we actually were like more aware of what was going on. We took our time with it.
Hmm.
Um, so that was actually fun. Still gotta work on some things.
I'm
Um,
I'm kind of glad that you took the reins a bit. I know you don't like playing Voice of Reason, but
mhm.
like Tactician is different from Voice of Reason.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah.
Michael as a person is not used to this leadership role. And when I talked with him before, he said that he wasn't expecting E10 to be a leadership role, but I think because he started the game with Libby as his companion,
Hmm.
because the way their backstories worked, Libby followed E10 out of town, basically. So, well, we'll see. It'll take some time before Etan and Michael himself becomes more in a leadership role,
I
or
think in
until
all
someone else
honesty,
fights him.
yeah. So who's fighting me? I think the best way I could sum it up is this: Michael is more of like the in-person story type player. He likes to be involved in the story. He likes to work with the story. When it comes to combat, though, he, he knows what he wants to do. He just doesn't verbalize it, um, and he just doesn't verbalize it properly. And so we end up in these situations where we're kind of like, what are we doing? I, on the other hand, am one. I'm not the most into like the story, because the characters I play wouldn't really focus on the story, and I don't focus hard on it, especially when it's matters that don't revolve around my character or my character's interests or stuff like that. Another reason why I was sad that Ganak dies, because Ganak would actually have paid attention to conversations and be like, "That's a big word." Um, More reason for big word.
Oddly enough, the more angry barbarian orc character was somehow the more social than the
Yeah,
human one.
and then the human one. Weird, right?
Yeah, D&D,
But
folks, D&D. But
D&D
yeah,
for you. But when it comes to combat, I actually I lock down it all, because I'm sure you've noticed this, but whenever we're in it, I kind of keep track of everyone's kind of spells, what they've used, what they've got, what they should use next, stuff like that. And
yes.
I'm a lot more tactical with it, because I look at it and be like, okay, if we do this, 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 we could maybe take out these three and then do a cleanup, versus us all targeting the exact same one when we know we have enough damage to kill with just two people. We can maybe split up the damage to kill three.
Hmm.
I'm more I tacticalized it a bit better. Now that second part of the encounter was not my best. That was I went last.
I don't blame you, buddy. It was tough. It was meant to be tough.
It was tough, but I mean, I did kind of more or less my job, which was to kind of force a couple enemies to go to the side and try to get them off. Now, granted, E10 took the brunt of the damage, and when Sergey died, my character said, "Nope, I'm not dealing with this." Running up, and I actually thought if I killed the necromancer, the undead would die. I was like, like necromancer. Surprise, surprise, that doesn't happen. I'm like, oh no. Shit.
When in the next session, it may or may not be explained, but
that's fine.
Well, but yeah,
I'm all down for a mystery. But that lucky crit I got to kill him, the damage I need, and then basically was just a punching bag between these two undead. I was like, well, you know what? If I go down, let's see it happen. Let's go, people. Let's have William go down. Repeat.
Yeah. I did fumble a bit because I was honestly not expecting Sergey to die.
Yeah, that took you by surprise.
That took me by surprise. The way it worked, because I'm controlling Zalim, Vrax, and Sergey. And especially Sergey, because he's the actual combat character of all the NPCs that I'm trying to run. He had the same hit points as E10. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so he had about 30 HP.
Yeah. Okay. I think I gave him a little bit less, like 28. Okay. Like 28 to 30 HP. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, so, yeah, he went down. I also gave him the same AC because he is okay, the consorts are 2 levels below you guys, and you guys are level 3, so they're level 1 by ability. So, but I did give them the same modifiers, the same health, and the same AC. And I completely forgot that, he's a paladin, technically. So he could cure wounds, somebody, or himself.
Well, I mean, he also had lay on hands. He could have laid on hands himself and healed for like 15 HP.
True. 5, I think. 5, because he's level 1.
He's only level 1? Then 5.
He's 2 levels less than you.
Then, yeah, he had a lot of ways of healing then.
Yeah. I just didn't think of it because it's a lot.
I mean, you're controlling what, like 8 NPCs, like 8 creatures,
3 NPC party members, and then the rest of the bad guys. Yeah, there comes a point where I'm like, okay, the damage is just gonna be D6s except for the arrows.
The arrows shall be 8, for they blot out the sun.
Yes, we have the high ground. Pew.
Oh no! Yeah, then an angry half orc jumps up, and that high ground means bupkis.
Yeah.
Oh man. God, those skeletons were tanky though. I have to admit, they were very tanky. 20 HP on skeletons.
The regular base HP is 15.
God,
so like I bumped it up a little bit because you guys had more characters, basically. Yeah,
I mean, I will say this: it was kind of weird whenever I rolled like almost max damage on my melee attack, and I dealt like 16 damage. I believe the max I can roll was 17. If I rolled, it's 17, and you're just like still up, and I'm like, holy crap! This thing is taking 17 damage and is still up. What the hell?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Die.
Yeah.
sliced through your vertebra, not around it.
Yeah. They were the newer skeletons, so they still had some meat on the bones, some extra protein. Uh, they've been drinking their milk when they were still human, or
Oh
any
no.
other race that they
Oh no.
were.
So you see an orc skeleton. No.
You guys just walk into a magic shop that's actually like a Dairy Queen, but the cashier is an enchanter. Here's some enchanted goat milk. Yeah.
Makes your bones really strong.
Yes.
Add one to your HP for every time you drink this. Me, I put 400 gold down.
This ice cream gives you 10 temporary HP.
Hey!
Hey.
Drink, eat, devour. Whatever you do with ice cream.
You can use it as a you can take it slowly as an action, or you can take it as a bonus action and just jam ice cream down your throat. And if you do that, you have to roll a d10. And if you roll below a 4, you get brain freeze and you lose your action.
I'd be willing to take that. I'd 100% be willing to take that. If that was an item that I could listen, I would get a bag of holding, a refrigerated bag of holding.
A bag of colding.
Bag of holding. There we go. To hold 500 odd pounds of frozen meats and goods, and I would fill that up with that ice cream. And it's like, what are you gonna do? I go for a double scoop and just nail it in my mouth. It's like, 10 HP. That's a 3.
Ah.
If you're on fire, you don't have to worry about brain freeze.
If you're on fire, the ice cream just melts. You
Damn it.
No!
I mean, I'm fine with like wacky items that do that.
I need to work on that. There needs to be some there
I mean,
well, when you guys get to the level where magic items are a lot more common, so to say. Which is part of the reason why you guys haven't leveled up yet, because you know, milestones, and also when you guys I don't want to level you guys up where, I'm still reminding you guys about abilities and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, our next level up is going to be an ability score improvement.
Yeah.
And either we take feats or we take ability score in. Some of us want to do an ability score, the other one wants to do feats. I'm caught in between that because it's either I take an ability score and I get myself up to like 18 strength, so I have a +4 to hit instead of +3, and my damage is increased by 1, or I take a feat and I go with like greater weapon master, so that when I hit with my axe, I can take the -5 penalty to attacks, which just ends up being me having a +0 to my offense, and if I hit, I deal 10 extra damage, which that can mean a lot.
That could.
But do I want to take that right now? Because there are benefits to it. If I get a crit, I can use my bonus action to make an attack. If I kill something, I can use my bonus action to make a second attack. It gives me a lot more range to do stuff, especially if I do end up killing something, which I'm more than likely going to end up killing something because I am a barbarian.
Yeah.
I do a lot of damage. I can like run up and go do another attack if need be. So
don't you guys get your subclass abilities at level 4? Or some of you?
For it, you get your
you're going
subclass abilities
Totem
at level
Warrior,
3.
if I remember
Totem
correctly.
Warrior, I got at 3, and then I get another one at 6, I believe.
Right. Kate
and the next
got hers at 3, I think.
Yeah, she's a sorcerer.
I think Libby gets hers at 4, because that's when she actually goes down the tree.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I remember when I was playing my wizard in Michael's campaign, I didn't have anything until level 4 or 5. And I think
Yeah.
I think Vrex is level 5, which is kind of sad because you know, it's a lot.
I mean, for classes that get their abilities like at level 1 or level 2, you gotta take those hits and blows of you get your stuff either sooner or later than everybody else.
Oh yeah. And then
Um,
that's the whole balance of, you know, D&D, because
yeah.
you're either good early and then you peak and then you're kind of just stagnant, or you really suck at the beginning, like Kate was before her meta magic abilities, and then takes off.
hmm I mean, that's the one thing with D&D that you can always rely on is a character. If a character reaches their peak, the player has one of two options. Either one, they continue on the course of their class, or two, they try doing something else to make their character more relevant.
Yeah.
And D&D gives you that freedom of creativity to basically go out and you can do that whenever you want. There's no restrictions for you to doing it other than the basic rules of D&D, which DMs don't follow. Why? Do you need like a 15 in charisma to become a paladin? Nah, fam, you got like a 10? Good enough.
Yeah.
Convince me to believe in God. All you need.
Well, that's what I wanted to do in. Well, it's okay. Well, I wanted to do that for uh, Widewin in Michael's campaign, but I didn't have enough. I did not have enough charisma,
It's okay.
but it's okay.
I
This
mean,
campaign, you guys are definitely open to multi-classing if you guys do so choose. I would need to like meet with you guys specifically because I don't know, say Greg, who's playing a sorcerer, wants to go into, I don't know, the warlock tab. That's when things get a little funky. And I
yeah.
and I'm not saying I don't trust Greg, but there it's very open-minded, and you know, as DM I just want to know what you guys are able to do. Like E10's whole I attack twice on the first initiative. Like, holy cow, he gets an extra attack on the first round. That's pretty. I thought that was pretty broken at first.
Yeah, but then you see like, oh, when combat lasts for more than that one round, it kind of falls off.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, but I mean, hey, listen, if my guy can find an axe that is also a guitar, then you're gonna see a barred bar. You're gonna see a bar. That's what you're gonna end
You
up having.
you didn't see one, but you went to a place where you can get one already.
I can actually get an axe that's a guitar
Yeah. You just didn't see one. That's why
with
you didn't have the
with
idea.
magical. Oh no! Well, you're about to get a barred barbarian then.
Because Merryman, or the Merryman, the owner, I forgot his name off the top of my head, but he's a bard. He's a bard wizard. So his entire shop is his piano basically, and he can make things come to him. And you know, he's very Jack Black from I almost said High School Musical, from School of Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that was fun. Check back in School of Rock. Oh
Yeah.
man, memory.
So
Um, but I mean, hey, if we get that, you're gonna end up seeing me basically just walking in and going like, "Who's ready to rock?" As I break people's skulls with my axe, and then play a sick guitar riff.
yeah.
Everyone there, should we be happy about this? Yes.
Oh God.
Uh,
But anyways, thank you, Matt, for joining me.
oh, it's a pleasure.
I think we'll end on that note. Thank you so much for listening. on our audio platforms and on Twitch, because this is the first time we've actually done a Telltales episode on Twitch. So hello, people out there. I just want to let you know, in case you didn't know, we stream our game every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we post the replay every Wednesday, today, and tomorrow, Thursday. So we'll link all of that in the description down below. We will see you next week and Monday. So bye, guys.